Hello, and thank you for joining us on our latest episode of Conclusion. My name is Thomas, and I'm here with
Gary.
Gary. You went down to Cosplay Expo today, right?
That's correct. Cosplay Expo down at the Japanese Gardens in Van Nuys.
That was something I hadn't heard of before. How did you hear about it?
Uh, I do believe it was actually because I'd gone to AX before. They sent me like a mass email saying, hey, AX is coming, and also check out this other thing we're setting up. So I believe it was set up by the same people who organize Anime Expo.
Oh, okay. Was this its first year, or has it been going on for a while?
I think this is its first year. No. It was definitely the first year. It was the first year. Yeah.
Did it seem like something that they would want to continue going forward, or do you think it's going to one off?
I don't know. Some people did show up, but it wasn't like
Huge.
particularly large numbers. The garden really couldn't accommodate too many people anyway, though. But it's a weird thing because the normal ways that you would expect a convention to monetize were completely absent from this convention. Like there was no vendor halls or anything. Um, no artist alley. Really, the only booths that were set up were some like informational booths at the entrance. And I think some Anime Expo stuff set up inside one of the like the admin buildings. So I don't know if it's something they plan on doing again or if this was just a one-off.
Okay. And the admission was pretty cheap too, wasn't it? From what I heard.
Yeah, it was like $15 to $10 depending on age and all that stuff. Uh, and it was well worth it. It was well worth the money. So
Yeah, maybe they just got enough to kind of pay for the venue, and then that was it.
maybe I mean they actually had their little patrol staff going around telling everyone to stop having fun. So um, the garden actually had these planks that went out over what it was like simulating a rice paddy. And
Oh,
we were
okay.
like, "Can we walk on these planks?" And they're like, "No, we don't want to deal with the lawsuit." Um,
Nah, bro.
yeah, and then like we were like we asked one of the models or the cosplayers to sit down on the bridge, and, this staffer came by and it's like, "Can't do that. Sorry, worried about lawsuits." It was just like, ugh,
Is it fun? It
fine.
might get us sued. Don't
Yeah,
let anybody do that.
yeah,
Okay. Well, that definitely goes into kind of detracts from the overall experience, but I can kind of understand.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
get it because it's so pretty, but you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, you kind of touched on it with like the staffers, but how was the organization overall?
it was It was actually relatively well organized. The whole thing is a very odd kind of setup. Basically, the parking you parked at like a public parking lot.
Hmm.
And in that parking lot, they also had like 6 food trucks set up going lengthwise of the parking lot into a little seating area, like a picnic area. And you would you would walk from the parking lot to the entrance of the parking lot, and they had vans and shuttles going by regularly to pick people up and shuttle them up to the park, which was about a 8-minute walk. I mean, maybe give or take a couple minutes, depending on how fast you walk. Um, it was a short walk, but it was still nice of them to provide the shuttle service, just shuttling people up to the top. You get to the entrance, and there's like a naked juice bar where they're giving out free samples. And then you can, register up, and there was like Bang Zoom voice acting stuff like usual. Um, and then once you got in, really, it was just you go do whatever as long as you stay on the path, and their staffers just walked around and made sure no one was doing anything that would get them sued. That was
Okay.
it. There was nothing else. I do believe they had like one tea room being used to do like panels and stuff, but we never went inside, so I don't know what they were like.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like it was very targeted at cosplayers and people that were there to take pictures of cosplayers. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
new type of event. Would you want to go to more things like this in the future? Like not this one
Yes.
specifically, but okay.
Yes, but it was very intimidating as a photographer. I mean, like the cosplay level there was like moderate to high. But I don't it I struggle to say this, but I feel like the photography talent that was there and the amount of money they invested in their equipment and their forethought to setting up shots, it was almost intimidating as an amateur photographer.
So
So
like cosplay was like average, or average to pretty high,
yeah,
like amateur, cosplay, but the
yeah,
photo level was basically pro at that
yeah.
point. Okay.
And I mean, like, it was kind of cool in that, like, I piggybacked off of some of their shoots and got some of my own solid shots. Um, but for the most part, the trails were really thin and there weren't a lot of ways to navigate about. So one photo shoot could clog up like 30 people trying to walk by.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Have you heard of an expo like this before? Because I hadn't, like just one that's straight dedicated to
No,
cosplay.
that's a relatively unique thing. And I didn't know what to expect when I showed up. I mean, obviously they spoke in their email that it was specifically for cosplay and photography, but I've never been to an event where they completely left out vending like in its entirety. That's a new thing.
Yeah, because this is very, very focused. I am surprised, but
But one odd thing though is they had no gatherings. Like you'd think that if they're going to focus on photography and cosplay, at least someone would try to organize gatherings. No such thing existed.
hmm. Yeah, that is unusual. I mean, I guess it's kind of better because it lets you focus on like individual,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. But
that's
that is one thing is like there was no entry for it in cosplay.com. I didn't even know if anyone was going. That's why I was like I wasn't sure I wanted to go myself. I couldn't confirm what all the attendance would be like. And I think that's something they could definitely improve on next time
yeah.
around.
I'm hoping they continue doing it. I'd like to see more of these pop up, sporadically all over the place because it'd be cool to go to one.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting idea to take this really beautiful scenery and try and incorporate cosplay into it. We
The,
found that like, traditional Japanese costumes, like characters based in more feudal era Japan, you could get some really awesome shots that was, topical. It seemed a little harder to make it relevant for people whose costumes had nothing to do with the Japanese garden though.
right, that makes sense. So overall, would you say your experience was pretty favorable?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good experience. I will say though that like I have different moods when I go to conventions. Like sometimes I want to go there and just splurge all my money onto the vendors' faces. And if
I
I
was,
was in such a mood, I probably wouldn't have found this as enjoyable.
yeah, maybe next year they'll have like cameras at the vendor, like camera vendors
Camera
there at some
vendors,
vendors. Yeah.
they honestly they don't have the space for it. I'm gonna be
Oh
upfront
yeah,
about that.
that's a good point.
Yeah, there was very little room. What little room they did have was taken up through administration, tables and the odd, I'm guessing, sponsor.
That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, so it was good. I think for what it was, like as a value equation, I would probably give it like an 8.5, a 9.
Very cool. As long as
Yeah.
you're into the cosplay or the photography,
Yeah,
otherwise not a
if
lot going
if
on.
neither of
But
those things interest you, do not go. You will not be happy. There is literally nothing else.
alrighty. And then if people want to see the shots you took at the event, I know I'm pretty sure they're on our website by now, as
Yeah,
well as
they are.
Facebook. I don't know
Yeah,
about our various other social
they're
medias.
everywheres. They're everywhere. Yeah, go ahead and take a look at them at brotakumedia.com. Brotakumedia.com. They're also on our Facebook. They're on our Tumblrs, our Tumblies. They're everywhere that we can throw them. Except for Instagram because we don't know how to bulk upload to Instagram, and I don't think Instagram wants us to know how to bulk upload to Instagram. So yeah,
Makes sense. All right. So that'll be us signing out until a very busy and crowded month of January.
January is gonna be bananas. Bananas.
Kicking off with our SAC anime coverage.
Woo!
Alrighty. Ready. So this is Thomas saying goodbye.
Yeah, this is Gary signing out.